Namaste. Welcome to Subhu's Launch Talk. Hope all are doing fine. Today's topic of discussion is inspired by a Padma Shri awardee. Now, what is so significant about this particular person? The moment you know about this person, one will get astonished that how this man who had lost his hands and legs in polio as a kid qualifies as a mechanical engineer, goes on to win gold in Paralympics, turns into an entrepreneur to give employment to disabled people. He is Sri R.J. Rajanna from Karnataka. Such an inspiring Padma Shri Award winner. So first, let me congratulate Ms. Sri Rajanna on becoming a deserved Padma Shri Award. And his life story has to be told, or lessons to be learned from his life story. Sri Rajanna was awarded the Padma Shri this year, and if you have seen those videos, his very presence is a monumental example of a never say die spirit. Many times we have everything in life, and yet we complain for better circumstances, or we complain that my circumstances are मेरा किस्मत नहीं है, my circumstances are not favorable, मेरे को किस्मत नहीं है. And look at Rajanna, what किस्मत ही had, what was his किस्मत, वो क्या किस्मत लेके आए, ना हाथ ना पैर. And yet today he is an inspirational person walking majestically to receive his Padma Shri award without legs and also without hand. Makes us feel how small we are when we are bestowed with everything that universe can give us. Even if you don't get anything from the universe, at least if you have good eyesight, good ears, hands, legs, that itself is a boon when you look at Sri Rajanna. Yet today this episode is not about showing sympathy to Rajanna, but celebrating a spirit that each of us can draw lessons from. Now, what are those lessons is what this episode is going to en- discover or unearth, that can be of great utility in terms of understanding that it is not the circumstances and it is not the kismat, but it is about dealing with the cards which one has. In a game of cards, they say you cannot choose your cards, but you have to deal with the cards which you have. So, taking the same analogy, Sri Rajanna has played with the cards that was dealt with him with an inspiring spirit that we are going to discuss in this episode and get to the bottom of it कि ऐसा क्या जादू है राजन्ना साहब में जो उन्होंने इतना गुल खिलाया and before the entire country he has become a overnight hero. There may be many such heroes hidden in across our country, but Rajanna's case has come to highlight, and the country has respectfully awarded him the Padma Shri. So, congratulations again to Rajanna Sahab, and let me get to the more importantly the lessons that one can draw from Sri Rajanna, that Sri Rajanna, while accepting the award, would like the entire country to, to dwell, to think that if I can do it, why not you? So, first and foremost, I tell about an Tamil phrase which says, நம்பிக்கை ஒரு வாழ்க்கை ஒரு நம்பிக்கை நம்பிக்கை தான் வாழ்க்கை. What is the meaning of this? It says life நம்பிக்கை வாழ்க்கை ஒரு நம்பிக்கை. That is, life is about self belief. நம்பிக்கை தான் வாழ்க்கை means self belief is life. So if you have self belief, then what are the qualities that will help you to face odds? So the first and foremost is, if you believe you can, you can. That is self belief. If you believe you cannot, you cannot. How does this happen? The self belief leads to self confidence. Atma Vishwas. We say that Atma Vishwas, self confidence. In Tamil, it's called Tannambikai. You develop a self confidence that if not anything, whatever cards are dealt to me, I will play my best hand. Instead of lamenting that I got the wrong cards, or I have not been given the ideal circumstances, whatever is available, I will make the best of it. Like Sri Rajanna sir has done. Another example that comes to mind is Ab- Kalam Sahab. He became the president of the country. You look at his story, it seems he sold newspapers in the morning as a child, and then would go to the school. And in the school, he would study, and from there, he became an engineer, and from there, he joined the public sector or in the defense. From there, he started spearheading the missiles program, and then he was part of the nuclear bomb to establish India as a country which cannot be taken lightly. And then he became the president of the country. Now, now look at this same aspect, self belief. The self belief is what makes you think that you can do something or other. Let me just do something or other. In war, there is one strategy. What is that strategy? They say if you want to win a war, you defeat the morale of the enemy. What is morale? Morale is the belief in that soldiers that they can cause harm. You, you destroy their morale. As they say, in other words, it's called the will of the enemy. So great war strategies have said that destroy the will of the enemy. Once you destroy the will of the enemy, whatever advanced weaponry he may have, he will not be able to go forward. Alternatively, if they say that, take for example, what is the beauty of Indian soldiers? Beauty of Indian soldiers is they have such willpower because of their love for their motherland. India is probably the only country in the entire world that calls our land as motherland. So coincidentally, today is Mother's Day also. So this land is like a mother. Now, when you say mother, what does it mean? A mother is not just a title; it is an emotion. There can be bad sons born, but there cannot be a bad mother born. So when I consider my land as my motherland, how can you beat the willpower of such soldiers? वो तो निछावर कर देगा. He will not. He will give everything that is needed to save the motherland because he considers his land as mother. तो उसका विल पावर, उसका सेल्फ बिलीफ. So especially in 1971 war, it seems Pakistan's aircrafts were much superior technically, and India's aircrafts were not at par with the Pakistan aircrafts. Yet our Dakotas made their superior armory pattern tanks नाक रगड़ा दिया नाक. You can still see that video where the pattern tanks just couldn't know from where the Indian pilots were bombing them left, right, and center. There is a conversation which is caught on the radio which says the Pakistani commander is telling his headquarters, ये भारतीय पायलट्स पागल हो गए हैं, पता नहीं कहाँ से बरसा रहा है, एंड वी आर नॉट एबल टू नो व्हाट टू डू. वी आर लाइक चिकन हेड कट, रनिंग लाइक चिकन, कुछ पता ही नहीं, घूम रहा है, एंड बॉम्ब्स आर being put on them wherever they go. In fact, the in the Registan or in the uh, in the desert, the tracks, the marks that the pattern tanks made while they were fleeing is also taken, and that is called as a spaghetti mark that their pattern tanks have like spaghetti. They have run away. The if you look at the image of that desert, the tracks, the images of the marks that their pattern tags have left, that was called spaghetti. ये कैसे हुआ? One guy has a superior weaponry, another guy doesn't have something to match, and yet he is able to swing the uh, course of the war in his favor. If you remember the famous chase, Abhinandan, Wing Commander Abhinandan, recently in a dogfight with a very old Russian plane called MiG 29, which was of course remodeled and made some advanced, but it was yet considered as the old old generation. And the F-16, which can fly at 4 5 times the speed of MiG 29, so it's very difficult to aim at F-16 when it is going at that speed in a dogfight. It is one warplane chasing another warplane. MiG 29 should have been a sitting duck. Yet, Wing Commander Abhinandan did a magic of shooting F-16, which the world is still wondering how he managed it. Best of technology, some old aircraft, and yet, i- in spite of having the best of things, MiG 29 finished off the most advanced F-16. How is this possible? It is not possible because of the machine. If Abhinandan had said, how can I hit that aircraft? I've got a very old aircraft. He would have never flown. But he flew because he said something was lit inside him. माँ का दूध पिए तो इसको मैं गाड़ दूंगा. It did it. That is what is called self-belief. It doesn't look at what you have and what you don't have. But self-belief builds an extraordinary self-confidence and gives you a can-do spirit. I can do it. Gives you that tremendous can-do spirit, and more importantly, it tells you I will never quit, never gives up, never quit. मैं तो इस मामले में क्विट ही नहीं करूँगा. जो कुछ भी हो गया हो गया, कुछ नहीं तो दो चार तीर मार के आता हूँ. And this self belief miraculously is something that can change adverse circumstances also to favorable circumstances. So sometimes you have everything in life, सब कुछ है, but the man behind the machine only, जो आदमी है जो चलाता है, उनके पास वो जज्बा नहीं है. जज्बा, सेल्फ बिलीफ, वो जोर नहीं है कि मैं कर दूंगा. आई नीड टू गेट दिस जॉब डन. Now come to Sri Rajana Sahab. When he had known that his hands and legs are no more due to polio, वो आदमी का मन में क्या जाता होगा? He would have cursed the entire world, he would have cursed the entire universe, he would have cursed himself, he would have cursed his fate, he would have cursed everything. And he would have found an excuse also that I don't have hands and legs. So let the world take care of me, or जो कुछ भी है मैं I will be a loser all my life. He had that option. Nobody will tell him. People will show some sympathy. Maybe some relatives will give him some money. Somebody would have taken care of him. Some social organization would have given some money. आदमी जीता था. खाना वाना कुछ कोई ना कोई इस दुनिया में not all are bad. There are lot of good people who take care. कोई ना कोई मिल जाते हैं. One's good Samaritan is always there. If you are, again, if you think there is that things are good, it will be good. If you think things are bad, it will be, you will prove yourself it is bad. So Rajana said things are bad for me, but let me see something good in it. क्योंकि what you talk to the mind is ultimately what your personality is. So you say that things are bad, you will prove that things are bad. जो कुछ भी होता है things are bad. And if you think things are good, there is a silver lining in a dark cloud. You can still see the silver lining. Let me come to the end of this video. When one person was showed on blank white sheet of paper, and there was a black dot made with a pen, black dot. So the paper was a big paper, A4 size paper, with a dot, black dot in the center. And this paper was shown to different people for a survey. The question that was asked is, what do you see in this paper? So 99 out of 100 people said, I can see a black dot. Which is correct. There is a black dot in the paper. But the 100th person, he said, or let me take the case of, in Hindi they say लाखों में एक, nine लाखों में एक, said, I see lot of white in this paper. The black dot is just a small dot, but rest all is white. Mr. Rajanna, I know this example of this paper with the black dot, but I learned from Sri Rajanna Saab that he saw the white, the positive aspect in that paper, and that considered all his misfortunes as a small black dot, which didn't hinder his aspirations. So, taking the lessons from Dr. Rajanna, Sri Rajanna, not Dr. Rajanna, let us understand that the car you're driving is self belief. It is called self belief. And the steering wheel is in your hands. That how do you use this self belief to find your way out? The joy is in the driving rather than the, and as they say, जिंदगी से इतना डर है तो घर से बाहर क्यों निकलते हो? जिंदगी से इतना डर है तो घर से बाहर क्यों निकलते हो? Don't be afraid of stepping out and trying whatever you feel you can do at that point of time. Pick on the steering wheel and drive. So the tip of the day is, don't lose your self belief, because it's, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you cannot, you cannot. But if you have a self belief, it is like a silver lining in a dark cloud, and the self belief will snowball into a self confidence, tannambikai, atma vishwas, and that self confidence will give you the power of can do spirit and never quitting and not giving up. So with that, I come to this end of this video. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, give your comments, and to all my loyal viewers, you can post it in your status so that it reaches a wider audience. Thank you. Till we meet again, goodbye and take care.